Oldsmobile Super 88, the super rocket that roared through decades. All right, Petrolheads and American classic car enthusiasts, gather round because we're diving deep into the world of the Oldsmobile Super 88, a vehicle that was as quintessentially American as hamburgers, fireworks, and inadvertently setting off car alarms with its sheer presence. Our journey begins in the early 1950s, a time when Detroit was punching out automotive legends like Holly. Hollywood produces superhero sequels today. If you ask me, the Oldsmobile Super 88 is a prime example of Detroit flexing its muscles and grinning from ear to ear while doing it. It made its debut in 1951 and carried on, roaring and brawling through the streets for nearly 2 decades. Let's talk about the aesthetics first. The Super 88 wasn't subtle. No, subtlety is for French wine and British sarcasm. This car had more chrome than a 1950s diner and curves that seemed to shout at you, "Look at me," or "Regret it forever." It had a presence that would make modern cars cower in the shadows. The rocket-inspired design, complete with tail fins sharper than Gordon Ramsay's knives, screamed futurism and prosperity. Gone were the bland, boring lines. This was a car that looked like it could keep up with a NASA rocket, at least in a drag race. Under the hood, it was no slouch either. The Super 88 was packing rocket V8 engines, a name that only the Americans could come up with. Early models boasted a 303 cubic inch V8, pushing out a respectable 135 horsepower. But as the years rolled by, the power figures climbed like a SpaceX rocket, with later models delivering up to 325 horsepower from a 425 cubic inch V8. When you mashed the throttle, it felt like you'd unleashed hell upon asphalt. Driving a Super 88 was an experience unlike any other. It was like captaining a ship with a steering wheel the size of a manhole cover and handling dynamics akin to a mobile fortress. The ride? Oh, it was smooth. Smooth enough to make you wonder if they'd replace the suspension with clouds. And the sound, like an orchestra of grumbling, furious gods emanating from dual exhausts. Now, let's talk peculiarities. You see, in the 1950s and 1960s, safety regulations were more like vague suggestions. The Super 88 had seat belts that you'd laugh at today, and dashboards made of materials that would rather impale you than cushion your fall. But let's not split hairs. This car wasn't built for safety. It was built for flair, speed, and making your neighbors green with envy. But what about its place today? The Oldsmobile Super 88 is now a hot commodity among collectors and classic car connoisseurs. It's a rolling piece of Americana, a testament to a time when bigger was always better, and fuel economy was as relevant as an abacus in a smartphone world. Restoring one is like restoring a piece of history, complete with all its quirks and imperfections, a door that occasionally requires a bit of persuasive language to shut, and an engine that belches smoke and roars to life like a bear woken from hibernation. So there it is. The Oldsmobile Super 88 wasn't just a car, it was a declaration that Americans could build rockets on wheels, which incidentally also served the purpose of transporting Junior to baseball and Dad to the barbers. It remains an icon, a symbol of when American automobiles were the final word in motoring magnificence. If stories of motoring magnificence and American iron excite you, smash that like button and subscribe to Auto Icons. Join us for more tales of automotive audacity and glory. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the journey through the legends of the road.